Evening, everybody. Hey, Ronnie. I don't know if anybody's made it on yet. Oh, here we go. Hey, Mary. In Nashville. Hey, Marla and Priya, Laura and Amber. All comes on at once. Just what I need. Hey, Pat. Hey, Pam. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Eric and Lindsay. Hey, Christine, Carol, David, Carolyn. Some of you I'll be seeing on Saturday, I believe. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Donna, Bruce, Gerald, and Jenna. Hey, Becky. Hey, Dave and Barb. Hi, and Nancy in Denver. Hey, Jay. Aloha all around. Hey, Karen. Hey, Jay and Maria in NYC. I saw some pictures of flooding out there. Hey, Jordana. Hey, Martin over on YouTube. Hey, Larry and Jennifer and Georgia and Rodney. Hey, Marty. Hey, Evelyn. Hey, Casey. Hey, Molly and Phil. Hey, Evelyn. Hey, Susan. Hey, Lori. Good evening all around. We're still waiting on one of the music pieces to upload tonight. Hopefully it'll be up in time and I'll be able to download it without breaking everything. We'll see. Yeah, Marine sounds fun. Hey, Susan. Hey, Alexandra. Oh, Linda. Good. Catch your breath. Evening, Bob. Hey, Jardel. Hey, David, this is a Hawaiian Dreams royalty-free music track. Hey, Phyllis. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Dad. Everybody's drinking the Jekyll Island coasters from last time. We'll show that again. Jenna, sorry for his passing. May his memory be for a blessing. Hey, Lorena. Alrighty, good question. Gotta restart the Hawaiian music, I guess. Hey, Bart. Hey, Kyle. Should have set that up to, repeat. Hey, Monica. Hey, Robert. Hey, Ann. Hey, Octavio. Hey, my sister's texting me while I'm on the air. That's great. Hey, Mom. Hey, Bob. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Misty. Evening, everybody. I am having a highly bootleg version of a Singapore sling. This is lemon juice, gin, brandy, cherry juice, and some limoncello LaCroix. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Jakin. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that right yet. I'm sorry I'm getting it wrong. Hey, Trisha. Hey, Mandy. Mandy Crypt is here. All right. Mandy got bitten by a radioactive spider the other day and has been in and out of getting shots over it. Hey, Ellen. Hey, Lisa and Amy, Darlene, Betsy. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Alicia and Bridget. Yeah, this is a Singapore sling, like pouring tequila into Mountain Dew as a margarita. Hey, Robert on YouTube. Tony, look between the cushions. Hey, Karina. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Mike. Hey, Ashley in Fort Worth. Did we do a Dr. Funk? I'm not sure. Well, tonight is largely similar to the last Tiki tour. It's pretty much the same one. Hopefully there will be some new music. It all depends on whether it uploads fast enough. We're keeping our eye out for it. Hey, MJ. Hey, Phoenix. Octavio, I'm pretty sure it's not. Not like you can get Quaaludes anymore. Hey, John. John, Ed, that sounds good. Hey, Bridget. Hey, Bridget's mom, come on out of the bathroom. Let's start that over again. Good news, Joanne. Hey, Marley. Evening, Bat. Jordana, that should work. That's kind of what I did tonight. I found the cheapest version of everything in a Singapore sling recipe. Or most of what's in a Singapore sling recipe. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Jean. Hey, Crit. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Melissa. Laura, we'll see. Numbers on virtual time travel pub crawls are way down relative to what they were when the bars were closed. Actually, that's cool. Hey, Patty. Hey, Luann. Welcome back. Hey, Cassidy and Christy. Back from Ohio is a great place to be. Hey, Mark. Hey, Denise. Hey, Tara. Hey, Amy. Good evening all around. We got a couple more minutes. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Marty. Bob, it counts to me. Hey, Marie. It's very languid music, isn't it? Hey, June. Hey, Diane. Watching all my alerts closely to see if the upload of the music has worked. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Gregory. Hey, Emily. Hey, Donna and Alex. Look who's here. Here we go. Early appearance. Hey, let Daddy reset the music. Mike, no, I'm not. Tried to get one on Miles, but you know. Hey, Lisa. I got a tile on one of my remotes. clouds have been climbing up me all day. There's more upbeat music as we go on. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Jerry. Okay. Hey, Mary Rose. Hey, Jenny and Jean. I'm glad you like the lighting. I tried to experiment around with the colors a bit today. You go for that tiki look. Hey, Betty. Hey, John. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Kathy. You know, limbo. Sometimes I feel that all of my problems are karmic revenge for cheating at the limbo once when I was 6. Hey, Bad. Hey, Miguel. I mean, no, I mean, somebody did that. It wasn't me. I'll give it just another minute or so. Hey, Grandma Belle. Hey, Christy and Patty. Hey, Marley. Hey, Ellen. We'll give it another minute. Everybody seems to log on right after 8 o'clock. I'm drinking a really bootleg edition of a Singapore Sling right now. Hey, Geraldine. All right, well, the Hawaiian Dreams thing just wound up. So I think that's time we go ahead and get started. That means we are moving right along to the theme song.
Climb aboard, cause you don't know exactly where or when we'll go. Chicago 1893, or the Gilded Age in NYC. Blast off into outer space, drink till you're flat on your face. From the comfort of your home, so if you puke alone, one day we'll even find that place in France. And don't come crying to us if you pee your pants. Time travel pub crawl. Time travel pub crawl. Time travel pub crawl. Yeah!
All right, everybody, welcome along once again to Time Travel Pub Crawl. I'm Adam Salter from Mysterious Chicago Tours here on the Mysterious Chicago Thursday Night Live Virtual Tour. All right, everybody, I'm Adam Salter from Mysterious Chicago Tours. You might remember me from such books as Mysterious Chicago, History at its Coolest, The Smart Aleck's Guide to American History, now badly out of date but still in print and making me dozens of dollars per year, and Sparks, which I did under the name of S.J. Adams, and which never did earn out its very, very small advance. But like tonight's tour, dabbles a little bit in cultural appropriation. So, welcome along. I've been a tour guide and historian here in Chicago for about 15 years. I was started doing virtual tours about a year ago for obvious reasons. And when we started doing virtual tours, I realized, hey, why not do a pub crawl too? And then we realized, hey, if we're doing it virtually, we're not bound by time or space at all. We could go to any bar from any point in history. And it was so much fun that we're still doing them, even though you can now go to actual bars again. So how do we travel around in time and space, you might ask? So here's the thing. 1915, a diver named Frenchy Deneau was digging a trench in the Chicago River to lay some cables down. While he was digging, his shovel brushed against this big metal thing that turned out to be the wreck of a 40-foot-long homemade submarine, which they then put on display under the name The Fool Killer. For a dime, you could see the submarine and the dead guy they claimed they had found on board. Now, officially, this thing disappears off of the map around late 1916 after some time as a carnival attraction, but we found it. Not only did we find it, but we found out that it can go through time and space and also makes julienne fries. So everybody, climb aboard the Fool Killer submarine. We are about to go traveling back in time, back to a world that barely existed. So this is Polynesia. From around Australia up to Hawaii, over to Easter Island, all of the Polynesian islands. This is where we generally think of being when we go into a tiki bar. Not that if anything going on in a tiki bar has anything remotely to do with anything that goes on here, it's really strictly a coincidence. Most tiki drinks are based on rum. Rum is not really used in these islands very much. It's much more of a Caribbean thing. But this was a huge thing, a huge popular part of pop culture starting in about the 1950s. And to trace why, we can go back to the 1940s, when an awful lot of World War II soldiers, many of whom had never been out of their small towns, ended up being stationed out in the South Pacific, where they experienced unimaginable horrors, and also the beauty of islands like James Michener's fictional Bali High, which then appeared in the musical version of his book South Pacific. Bali High, your special island. This was like nothing people had ever seen before. You know, in World War I, they sang, how you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris? Well, how are you going to keep them down on the farm after they've seen Bali High? And the simple version is, you win the war and send them back home, and then they don't really have a choice. So, following the war and following the horrors and the love affairs that they had experienced, many of them moved back to towns that were springing up like this one, Levittown. Levittown, New York, where prefab houses offered affordable housing for returning veterans, and soon became a symbol of bland conformity. I knew about Levittown from a Billy Joel song myself. So, living amongst all of the bland conformity of the suburbs gave rise to a lot of books and movies like The Man in the Gray Flannel Suit by Sloan Wilson, which later became a movie by Gregory Peck. These were guys who had gone through unspeakable horrors, blowing up their friends, watching villagers get killed, killing villagers themselves because they needed a coat, killing enemy soldiers, then came back home and just had a very difficult time readapting, something the Army had really not prepared them for. The Army at the time tried to claim that everybody ought to be just fine in 8 to 10 weeks. But at the same time, we had the rise of tiki culture, which allowed them to recontextualize what they had experienced, allowed them to bring back the memories of the good parts of it and try to push away some of the memories of the bad. It recontextualized the experiences that so many people shared back in the South Pacific. At the same time, Hawaii was becoming a state, leading to a large surge of interest in things like this. Or anyway, that's what we tell ourselves, which might just be trying to make us feel better about the stuff that this is all really quite horribly problematic, presenting a really cartoonish version of real cultures, which have almost nothing to do with the actual cultures. But really, the boom, the style itself goes back to well before the 1950s, well before the building of Levittown, and even before World War II, starting in the 1930s, with a place in Hollywood called Don the Beachcomber. Now, Don the Beachcomber started out in the 1930s. Don himself decorated the whole place about like this. Now, Don, who in this picture looks remarkably like my brother, I'm just going to say, started out as a bootlegger during the 1920s. He and his uncle were sailing around the world, mostly to Jamaica, to pick up rum, which they would then smuggle back. After Prohibition ended, he traveled around some more, had his whole share of adventures, and following enough of those adventures, came back and opened up his restaurant, Don the Beachcomber, but kept on hanging on to the lifestyle that he had experienced in the islands and traveling all over the place. So soon his place was known as Don the Beachcomber, home to diplomat, beachcomber, prince, and pirate. Here's a sample of their 1941 menu. At the time World War I was breaking out, you could get things like Barbados Punch for $1, Caribbean Punch for $1.10, Beachcomber's Rum Barrel, which served two, was $2.25, and some other things like Nelson's Blood, the Never Say Die, the Mystery Gardenia. I kind of want to try all of these. Of course, one of the major favorites, Planter's Rum Punch, Puka Punch, the Rum Cow. Meanwhile, this is how it looked in the 1950s when they had upgraded to color. There were things like the Missionary's Downfall, which was made of pineapple and mint leaves. Sounds delicious to me. And most notably, though, the Zombie. Now the zombie, you'll notice down below there says limit of 2, which is kind of to imply if you have 3, that would be dangerous. Which is entirely possible because the zombie contained an awful lot of rum. It was upwards of 5 ounces of rum in one zombie. So if you had 2 of them, you were looking at having a really, really stiff drink. But maybe we should hear more about this and maybe get a bit of a drink idea from Don the Beachcomber himself.
Aloha! Welcome to Don the Beachcomber. People call me Don Beach.
Because that's your name, right?
According to the courts, it is now. Come on into the birthplace of Tiki culture in America. I've traveled around the world and brought a slice of the South Pacific home for you.
Where exactly did you say?
A little bit of everywhere, my good man. I'm no stranger to the 7 seas. I can tell you tales of adventure, excitement, exotic worlds, and tropical flavors.
True tales?
As true as you'd like them to be.
Look, I know a thing or two about hoaxes.
Why don't we get you a drink? I have over 60 tropical cocktails on my menu. All enough to transport you to a Tahitian paradise, all Don originals. Maybe try a zombie if you think you're strong enough.
How about a round of Mai Tais, Don?
Ah, my true classic. Now you're talking. Take some dark rum, a light rum, some lime juice, orange curacao, and some orgeat, and mix them all together.
Okay, sounds
Who
good.
said I did that? There's imitators all over the world. Maybe I told you one of their Mai Tai recipes and fed you one of mine.
Well, it's delicious either way. Thanks, Don.
Sail in anytime.
All right, Don the Beachcomber, ladies and gentlemen. Eventually, he put his wife in charge of the restaurant. She divorced him and ended up in charge herself, so he moved out to Hawaii, expecting to find lots of thatched roofs and surf culture, but really found that the missionaries had done away with all of those things decades ago, so he started building itself, trying to remake Hawaii in Hawaii's image himself. So that is the Mai Tai. There's a lot of debate about who actually invented the Mai Tai. Lots of different people claim it. Nobody seems to claim that it is actually an original Polynesian drink. Now, Don the Beachcomber was so successful in California that he ended up opening franchises, or rather his wife ended up opening franchises all around the United States. The Chicago location was just off the Magnificent Mile at 10 East Walton. If we go down right about past where the Lululemon is now, this is where it was located in Chicago up until about the early 60s. Right about there, right across from the Lululemon. Would have looked like this at the time. And the inside looked about like this, and here you see a lot of the stuff that we associate with the Tiki style that grew up, most particularly bamboo walls. By the 1950s, when these were growing, there were a lot of things that were pretty much standard. Most of them had A-frame construction. You don't really see that with Don's. Usually you had to walk across a little stream or a water feature to get inside, as though you were crossing the border, crossing into some other fantasy realm, which was the whole idea. It was a break from suburbia. It was a break from the bland conformity of places like Levittown. Now, it's hard to find places like this today. There are still a few tiki bars in Chicago. There are even a couple of authentic ones in the Chicagoland area that don't really look as though they've changed a bit since the 1950s. But when I want a strange place to go, I usually go to a place in Bucktown called the Gallery Cabaret. So here's singing us a song about the Gallery Cabaret while I try to load the music for the end of the show. Here's my friend Rich Kruger.
Hey, my name's Rich Kruger, and welcome to the Time Travel Pub Crawl special summer holiday edition. And this song is about my favorite pub to crawl to, the Gallery Cabaret at 2020 North Oakley in Chicago. It should reopen due to virus and plague conditions on August 1st, 2020, God willing. It's owned by Kenny Strandberg. And so this song is called Kenny's, or It's Always Christmas in This Bar. It's always St. Pat's and also Halloween. Nothing here's ever thrown away. Here, real art always has its say. Kenny hangs a brand new works just about every 30 days. Look around, it's the 4th of July. It's always Christmas in this bar. At the bar, a regular proves once more that he is just a xenophobic jerk. The piano's always out of tune, but just the keys that work. drinks the night away. It makes my day here to say that you've entered hell, but on hell's the most festive holiday. Oh, and it ain't only the piano that's been drinking. I tip my hat to Kenny, that is if I can only find my hat. And there's a Ringo bell of stars that hovers proudly over the bar. And someone's playing the house guitar. It's always Christmas in this bar. Well, there goes Johnny. He's back from his last bender and he's mixing cocktails behind the bar. He's got on some silver rings and he's put on a broad grim smile. He's got a brand new turquoise polo tie, and for every woman he's got a line. There'll be one more bender, but he won't return that time. And outside on the corner, the young and the old share their papers, their pipes, and their pot. Some still smoke tobacco, the weed says louder, up yours to the cops. Well, late night, some guy drove a drunken car to the front wall, right into the bar. Thank God the pizza lived. Some of us might just starve. Yeah. Free on a Sunday, there's always a free Sunday meal. All you need to do is say yourself a prayer and buy yourself 2 beers. Me, I always try to tip the cook if I find that the cook is still standing. And I'm proud to say that I ain't never thrown up after eating here. Well, you know that somewhere on the earth there may be a bar that I find stranger. Man and some women are real glad that Johnny's gone. Oh, the stranger's just a stranger here for less than a half a beer. The only fear we gotta fear is when last call's called. Oh, and it ain't only the piano that's been drinking. Tell me, friends, where else have you seen people juggle people with their feet? Picasso and George Bernard Shaw hold court over Kenny's lovely bar. And it's my turn to play the guitar. It's always Christmas in this bar. Well, hope you get to pub crawl to Kenny's one of these days. Again, I'm Rich Kruger, and you can find my stuff on all over the internet, Spotify and all those streaming services, or on or be directed via my website at www.richkruger.com. We got a new EP / quite frankly, album coming out, 9 songs. Old demos coming out at the end of the month in July, and I hope you'll check it out. And there's an upcoming feature on me on CBS Sunday Morning. It's supposed to be broadcast in July or August, so keep your eyes open. Anyway, back to the Time Travel Pub Crawl Holiday Edition.
Rich Kruger, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the news is a little bit out of date there. As I said, tonight's mostly a rerun. So, you can check out the Truth Sessions by Rich Kruger wherever stuff is streaming on the internet today. And of course, we really do have to tip our hat to Kenny. Kenny passed away, the owner of Valerie Cabaret. Passed away at a ripe old age in the past year or so. But they are reopened again. Everything is good. We're moving along. And now I'm competing with them here on the Time Travel Pub Crawl. But I think it is time we move along from Don the Beachcomber. So why don't we head on out through hyperspace a little bit. Whoa, everybody hang on. Whoa! Oh, here we go. We're in Oakland. Wouldn't it just be my luck to land in Oakland? All right, we're at a little place called Hinky Dink's, a very Chicago name reminiscent of Hinky Dink Kenna, the old First Ward alderman, whose place we have in fact visited several times. Hinky Dink had a pretty interesting menu operated by a guy named Trader Vic. Now, we see here the formal opening of the new Bamboo Room. Here, in an appropriate atmosphere, I offer the pleasure-loving couple of Oakland authentic drinks I have gathered from the far corners of the world. Authentic. Sure, Vic. Do you, for instance, recall the mojito? Okay. The rum cow from Puerto Rico? The Cuban Presidente from Havana? Barbados red rum swizzle? The Maui fizz? The Raffles bar sling, of which I am drinking a highly bootleg version right now? Gin and Schweppes tonic? The champagne apricot? The pisco punch? Now these all actually do seem to be, kind of authentic. Kind of drinks collected by Vic Bergeron, who generally dressed in a lab coat and tried to present himself as something sort of like a mixologist. But then one day he went to Don the Beachcomber's place down in L.A. and stayed until they kicked him out, asking questions about the food. He had moved into serving an early version of Americanized Chinese food, which very few people in the United States had encountered at that point. Learned about all of the drinks, copied many of the drinks, and later claims to have invented the Mai Tai. He reinvented his entire place as Trader Vic's and really put in a lot of the things that we now think of as Tiki altogether, expanding a little bit on what Don the Beachcomber did and making the place a little bit more upscale. So why don't we, in fact, check in a little bit with Trader Vic?
Hi there, I'm Vic Bergeron. Welcome to Trader Vic's, home of the original Mai Tai.
The originals? We were just at Don the Beachcomber's.
Anyone who says I didn't invent the Mai Tai is a dirty stinker.
Fair enough. Hey, Warren Zevon says there's a werewolf here with perfect hair.
That's our London location. Swing by on your Halloween crawl.
Okay, we'll probably will. Pretty
Only
nice
the best
place.
for our Trader Vic's regulars. We have locations all around the world, so no matter where you roam, you always feel like you have a slice of the Pacific waiting for you.
What can you recommend to drink? Maybe something without rum. Most of the stuff has been rum.
Not to worry. Try one of my other originals, the Eastern Sour. Rye bourbon, orgeat, lime juice, orange juice, and simple syrup to sweeten it up. You won't miss the rum, I promise.
Sounds good to me.
Coming right up.
All right.
Next time you see Don Beach, you tell him Trader Vic is gonna blow him out of the water.
Okay, I'll tell Don exactly what you're gonna do to him. But come on, man. Well, this is a drinking one. It's not exactly a family show, I suppose. Eastern Sour is now a standard in bars. You can order it pretty much anywhere. Vic's, like Don the Beachcomber, expanded all over the place. Many of them were standalone places, such as this one in Arizona, but more of them tended to be attached to hotels like this one in London. There's one fun thing I found from 1972, the Good Time Manual. 257 places in the Bay Area where people under 30 are going, or should be going. I'm definitely out of that. But among those was Trader Vic's. Trader Vic's is expensive. If this turns you off, go on to the next article. Now, if you're still with us, read on. Vic has programmed his restaurant for people who can appreciate hot perfumed towels with their dinner, ice water with a wedge of lemon in it, and the subtle savor of fisher meat cooked over white oak in a Chinese oven. I just like the cover of this. Keep on trucking, kids. These guys from 1972, if these guys are under 30, yeah, they're just about to turn 80 now. Now, the location in Chicago from the 1950s up until 2005 was here at the Palmer House, future site of Mysterian Convention, October 1st through 3rd, 2021. They tried to reopen it up in the Gold Coast for a while, but it just didn't work. On the inside, though, the inside is still a classic, and you can see quite a lot of the same stuff, like these growing beach lights dangling from nets that you would have seen at Don the Beachcomber a little bit earlier on. Now, while we're in Chicago, let's zip up to the north side just quickly. Muppet Babies, we'll be right back. And check out the Edgewater Beach Hotel. Now, this wasn't exactly Tiki, but it was kind of a 1920s preview of it. It was very much based on the fact that it was a hotel right on the beach. And the inside of it has a lot of things that we would normally associate with tiki bars, such as palm trees, which we don't typically have growing naturally inside of Chicago. But this was a relic of the 1920s when it was really something to go to a hotel here in Chicago. And they always had their own orchestra, including these guys. Let's hear a sample. What was the name of this band? Phil Spitalny, the Edgewater Beach Hotel Orchestra.
A little ditty that's sweet and simple. You'll get the swing of it soon, for here's a tune that any child can sing. D stands for dimple. The words are silly, the song is simple. And after hearing it once, the dumbest dunce can memorize the thing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, you can't go wrong. Oh, say it's bound to sound like some other song. But God knows it's simple, so get together and let's be simple. I don't know whether or not you knew they call this classic I Love You.
All right. Now, moving down across to the other side of the country, over in Palm Beach, was a place called Dude Dodge's Marine Show Bar. This was just a place that fascinated me looking it up, even though you couldn't find a lot about it. This was a bar right on the beach, kind of a tiki vibe to it, off and on, but they tended to have focus more on live entertainment there, including people like Alan Biagio, the world's lousiest pianist, as earth-shaking as the atom bomb. Also acts like Elaine Gay and Smilin' Jack, the Hillbillies, Palm Beach's hilarious hillbillies, or Alan Sterling and his piano and parodies. Everett Engerson, pantomime comedy, piano parodies. Piano parodies were big at this place. Or Flash, Sam the Joker, who did risque comedy. Or Bob Silva, who also did risque comedy and pantomime piano. This was a place to hear dirty jokes played on the piano, but they were dirty like 1950s style dirty jokes. What they're best remembered for now is one anecdote that one day Elvis Presley in the 1950s was playing down the road in Palm Beach. He had an afternoon show and an evening show. In between, he decided to walk down to Dude Dodge's, and they didn't like the look of the guy, so they kicked him out. This dude, fine. Elvis Presley, get out of here. Let's move across the... Well, let's zip clear across the ocean now. As Tiki eventually made its way all the way to the United Kingdom, where it started showing up at places like Butlin's holiday camps. These were the British equivalent of what we would have as resorts out in Palm Beach. Now, in addition to swimming pools and hotel rooms, they would have regular activities. Like, here's the program for October of 1963. The big one is the Grandma of the Week competition. But they're also doing the Princess of the Week competition and the Miss She competition and the Children's competition. A lot of beauty pageants at these things. Plus a swimming gala, sensational stick dancing, tombola and late night tombola. That's a game very similar to bingo. roller skating, the fabulous Wimbo, modern and old-time dancing, the Take Potluck Show, film shows, and old-time music hall. At 11 p.m., you could gather to sing Any Old Iron or My Old Man Said Follow the Van. This would have been a party and a half. Of course, if you were under 70, they also had rock bands such as Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, who played Butlin's Holiday Camp in 1962 and 63, featuring on drums young Ringo Starr, who midway through the 62 season got the call to shave his beard, change his haircut, and come join the Beatles instead. Now, we were fortunate enough to find some video footage of the Tiki aspect of Butlin's Holiday Camp, but we couldn't just air it unedited. This is Butlin's Holiday Camp with some MST3K add-ons by Eli and his wife Melissa.
The Hula Girls.
Yes, nothing says hula like pasty Brits.
We're not in Tahiti or Hawaii. This beachcomber bar is in a Skegness holiday camp, where at this moment, the first hippie hula contest in Britain is underway.
Stupid
Who's
hippies.
got the most authentic wiggle?
Authentic? No.
Yeah, these are hippies.
Margaret Thatcher, Britain's top hula judge.
So like this.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Here's where the rum comes in.
Yeah,
You could
finally.
find pirates pick me up, or a missionary's downfall, a Cologne kiss, or bingo, a planter's punch that's a real knockout.
How do you like my wiggle, sir?
I guess he needed more?
In this bar, you could fancy yourself lost in the Pacific, unless those exotic drinks make you fighting mad, like the old pirates who used to invade the Polynesian peace and the
Sorry,
hula-hula
honey,
rhythm
this
of
makes
the
me
dancing
mad
that
enough to
goes with
slug
it.
you like a pirate.
Hello, handsome.
Now, which are the girls with the snaky hips that you'd soonest be shipwrecked with on a coral island?
The pasty
That's
one
what
with the
we
microphone?
beachcombers are here to find out, and it's alluring.
Good thing we wore
That
our
is, they're
hula
picking the
skirts to
girls in
dinner.
pairs. No rationing here.
Well, there's the ass in the grass. All we need is gas and we ride for free.
This is hula-ing, right?
And now at this paradise
Oh, I
of the
like them
northern
all. It's
seas,
so hard to
it's the moment
choose.
of truth.
Tens,
and there'll be
tens,
champagne for
tens
the two
across the
who've most
board.
evoked Hawaii's charm. There's nothing like bubbly for getting things really going.
Yes,
it's
tiki
men,
bubbly,
not girls,
not
that need
rum.
persuading when it comes to dancing anything outlandish.
Oh, I'm done.
Come on, chance your arm.
Ooh, tiki-like.
Never mind, give this
On
guy the
railway
champagne.
stations, they used to tell us Skegness was bracing, but they never warned
Ah!
you might expect a
Works
tropical
like-
storm as bracing as this.
Uh-oh. I think someone left the shower running. The gods have been angered by all our celebrating.
Tiki no like.
Here, the crocodile
Hey,
reigns
Steve,
supreme.
remember when Rock was young?
All right, Butlin's Holiday Camp, everybody. Well, let's go back to the United States, where we're safe from these kind of from the inevitable Grandma of the Week Tiki contest mashup.
Oh, so apparently Adam
I
wins
pushed the
evidence.
wrong button. All right, let's go back to Chicago. Here in Chicago, well, we all recognize this. This is on all of the tours. This is the Intercontinental Hotel, now originally the Medina Athletic Club. Right there at the anchor of the Magnificent Mile. Here's more of a close-up view of it. Great 1920s building. Reputedly, the roof was originally planned to be a Zeppelin landing pad, which never would have worked for a minute, but it's kind of cool to imagine it might have been. But if you walk around the side of it, here's where it gets kind of cool. This was the location of a tiki bar up until really remarkably recently, starting in the 1970s when this was the Sheraton Hotel. But if we zip around on the side, there's still a relic of it standing. We'll wander down here a bit. At the back is a building designed by Harry Weiss with the gold windows. Then right up over here, if you walk all the way back, you still see a relic of the lava wall from when this was a location of Tiki ports. Tiki Ports was a chain of very large tiki restaurants named after the book Tiki by Thor Heyerdahl, who wrote about a voyage he took to prove that people from South America could have sailed all the way to Polynesia back in ancient times. The book was not necessarily convincing to anthropologists, but it's so well written that it really struck a chord with people in 1950, and then had a big revival in the 1970s as well, leading to a big boom in Tiki Ports. Here's an ad for it from when it was in Chicago. Incredibly exotic drinks and Polynesian food, luncheon and dinner. You could also go to Clip Joint, a bogus barber shop, which is mostly drinks, the Camelot, the Blacksmith Steakhouse, or the Anvil Lounge, all at the Sheraton there. I couldn't find a lot of great pictures of it, but there are quite a few. Here's a black and white shot of the main tiki room. But they also had rooms for other ports as well, such as the Saigon room, or Singapore Joe's room, or the Papit room. That was the one we would most associate with tiki. And there you can see the same thing of the glowing balls in the nets acting as lighting. Now, I'm going to just reprise last year's drink from this same one because it kind of leads into the next one. So here is our bartender here at Tiki Ports.
Aloha! Welcome to Tiki Ports, Chicago. I'm Rich, the beach bum, your bartender. How many people do you have with you tonight?
Thousands.
What? That's a lot of people. But
316.
I guess we're virtual here, so we can squeeze them in.
Of course we can. Listen, just like Thor Heyerdahl did when he traveled from South America to Polynesia, I travel too. I go from Chicago down to Georgia and Jekyll Island, and that's where I created the Jekyll Island Coaster. Nothing could be simpler. Fill a Collins glass, or any glass for that matter, with ice. Add 1 part melon liqueur or Midori, 2 parts Southern Comfort. Top it off with cranberry juice. Give it a stir, a little splash of lime juice, and garnish with an umbrella and a lime wedge. Nothing could be simpler. Come back sometime soon, and I'll teach you how to make the drink that Mom likes. Cheers.
All right, so how about this drink that Mom likes? He promises a good drink. Let's see if he can deliver now that we're back.
Last time I saw you at Tiki Chicago, I promised that the next time we met, I would tell you about drink Mom likes. And I'm happy to share the recipe with you. In a rocks glass, or tiki mug, if you have one, mix 1.5 ounces of coconut rum, 2 ounces of Arnold Palmer, which is half lemonade and half iced tea, and 3 ounces of V8 Mango Splash. This is a wonderful drink. I've never met anybody, a mom, a mother-in-law, or anyone who doesn't love it.
Okay.
Back to you, Adam.
Okay, well, you say it's a drink Mom likes, but, I wouldn't be much of a historian if I just took your word for it there. I should really probably get some more first-hand opinions on this.
Oh, so apparently Adam wants evidence. I have 2 moms right here who can attest to it.
Adam, I'm your mom. I love it.
And I'm her mom, and I love it too.
Cheers.
Okay, well, that's primary sources, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right here. Drink Mom likes. I have never had this one myself. I don't tend to keep coconut rum in stock. Mango Splash I probably have around here someplace. But all right, that does sound good to me. All right, so from there, though, let's move on back into the present time. And we'll talk a little bit about what happened with tiki. All of a sudden, it was the biggest thing in the world in the 50s. Then, sometime around the late 1960s, it just stopped being cool. By the 1970s, well, for one thing, these kind of images of the South Pacific reminded people more of Vietnam than trying to recontextualize things or tropical paradises. Tiki stopped being cool and started being, something that you saw on the Brady Bunch. Bali High, the special island, became just a metaphor for drugs and masturbation. The Billy Joel song.
Captain Jack will get you high tonight and take you to your special island.
And by the time I was a kid in the 1980s, it was really strictly just an old joke. But the style still survived in a lot of strange little ways, such as in 1987, I remember distinctly liking Fruit Island cereal.
Yama yama.
We've got the fruit taste. We've got the fruit and new fruit.
How in the world did we think this was okay?
Fruit Island has real and real cherry, orange, and lemon taste to please King Yama Yama. Oh, how does it taste, Almighty King? Yama Yama. Fruit Island's brand cereal is
Facebook is full of groups where people insist that the 80s were not problematic.
Yama Yama. You can see it too.
Or, of course, we had King Hippo. Probably my own real introduction to Tiki culture was King Hippo pulling up his pants and then between rounds saying, ha ha ha, I am the king. But lately, in the 21st century, we have had a full-blown Tiki revival, with restaurants here in Chicago opening up with a much more of an upscale vibe take on it. Places like Three Dots and a Dash, which is hidden behind an alley right near where the old criminal court building is. A regular on many of my tours. You open up a door, you have to go around the back to get into it. You open a door and there's a whole wall of skulls. They never had production values quite like this back in those days. Or you've also, of course, still got the Enchanted Tiki Room, which is not the most problematic thing at Disney World anyway. And we've been talking about the drink known as the Zombie quite a bit today, so on the fly, this has been downloading while I put this one together. James Davis of the band May Haley's Grave, a regular feature here on Time Travel Pub Crawl, has sent me in a clip of himself singing an old calypso tune. Originally, it was known as Jumbi Jamboree. Jumbi was an evil spirit down in the islands. It was once recorded by a guy named the Charmer, who later changed his name to Louis Farrakhan. I know the version when they changed it to Zombie Jamboree, as it's usually recorded. A particularly common one is recorded by the band Rockapella, who is best known for their tenure on the show Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. So here is James from May Haley's Grave with Zombie Jamboree. If anybody dared to make the zombie with all of that rum, now's the time to drink it.
Oh, hi everyone. This is James Davis from May Haley's Grave. Today I'm not coming at you from the deep south as normal, but from the Tracy Aviary in Salt Lake City, as I've been journeying way out west, and this is where I find myself. I believe the closest thing to Tiki I can find in Salt Lake City is flamingos. Though that still may not be regionally correct. However, I do got a little number for you. Back to back, belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, 'cause I'm dead already, and back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. Back to back and belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, 'cause I'm dead already, and back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. It was a zombie jamboree, took place Rose Hill Cemetery. Said it was a zombie jamboree, happened in Rose Hill Cemetery. Zombies from all over the land, some of them were great Californians. And since the season was carnival, they got together and barked and all. Everybody sing back to back, belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, 'cause I'm dead already, and back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. Back to back, belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, 'cause I'm dead already, and back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. One female zombie wouldn't behave. She said she wanted me for a sleep. In one hand holding for a wine, in the other she pointing she'll be mine. I said, oh no, my turtle dove, that bag of bones I cannot love. I said, oh no, my turtle dove, but that bag of bones I cannot love. Everybody sing back to back, belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, 'cause I'm dead already, and back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. said, oh, no matter to the that bag of bones I can't handle. Right then and there she raised the feet. And said, I'm gonna get you now, my sweet. I'm gonna make you call me sweetie pie. I said, oh no, get back, you lie. Everybody's in the back to back, belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, cause I'm dead already and back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. Back to back and belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, cause I'm dead already and back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. I may be lying, but you will see. Is this dead zombie? Never such a horror in all my life. Can you imagine me with a zombie wife? Back to back, belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, cause I'm dead already and back to back and belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. Zombies say brains. Oh yeah, back to back, belly to belly, but I don't give a damn, cause I'm dead already and back to back and belly to belly at the zombie jamboree, at the zombie jamboree, at the zombie jamboree. Brains.
James Davis of May Haley's Grave, ladies and gentlemen. Downloaded in the middle of live broadcasting this one. Everybody, thanks a lot for joining me for the Time Travel Pub Crawl. That should get us back at this point in the Time Travel Pub Crawl Tiki edition. There's no way I'm sober enough to keep going properly, so I will just plug the upcoming tours. Thanks to Rich Kruger. Thanks to James Davis, thanks to the Edgewater Beach Hotel. Saturday morning, we are doing Graceland Cemetery in person once again. Tickets are still available for that at mysteriouschicago.com. Just a few, but there are tickets left. July 11th, Sunday morning, we'll be back here on virtually for True Crime Tales in Chicago Cemeteries. That's one that I have to do virtually because it incorporates lots and lots of different cemeteries, more than we can really get to on foot. Then Thursday night, bringing back the story of Camp Douglas, Chicago's Confederate prisoner of war camp, and the 1864 plot to liberate that camp and take over the city, plunging the nation into chaos. Then Saturday morning, Saturday being in-person day, we are back at Rose Hill Cemetery for the first time in person since 2019. So tickets are still available for that one. I think that one is actually currently outselling the Graceland one that's just coming up in a couple of days. But tickets for both are still available. Check mysteriouschicago.com. Now, should you need a Mysterious Chicago t-shirt, sweatshirt, flask, shot glass, beer glass, tumbler, or some Dead Ringers apparel. The Dead Ringers weren't able to join us today, but we wish them well anyway. Just go to cafepress.com/MysteriousChicago for all of your Mysterious Chicago apparel needs. And with that, everybody, I am going to put on Earl Father Hines once again, and we will just hang out like we always do. So thanks a lot, everybody. You can see under the PayPal, MysteriousChicago.com. That's where you go to get tickets to all of the upcoming events. Everybody, thanks a lot for joining me. I'm Adam Seltzer from Mysterious Chicago Tours. Laura, enjoy. Thank you, Christine. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Chuck. Yes, kid tested, mother approved. Thanks, Karen. Thank you, Eleanor. Can I post what? Can I post the drink recipes again? I believe I probably can. Let's see what we got here. First of all, here's the new one again. The drink Mom likes. There was also the Mai Tai. And the Eastern Sour. There we go. We'll leave those up for a minute. Good night, Mandy. Thank you, Stacy. Alright, Barbara, before I go, I will play the theme song one more time. We'll hang out for a couple of minutes first. Yes, let's definitely talk Disney into making Ronnie a Disney princess, for sure. I think I know the person to call for that. Eli works for Disney, you know. I'm sure he can cover that. Patty, no, I didn't get to Shanghai Lils. I was going to do the Raffles bar, too, over in Singapore, where the Singapore sling comes from, which I'm drinking now an even more bootleg edition of, because I was out of gin. Japanese plum liqueur, that sounds delicious. Not sure what I'd mix it with. Oh, the one with Southern Comfort and Midori, that is the Jekyll Island Coaster. Let me find that one. There we go. Eleanor, good point. Well, nobody mentioned Raffles Bar in Singapore in your Venmo or PayPal notes, okay? I poured more booze into my tiki glass than I thought I did. I had to take a couple of these down so you can see my like the werewolf who drank the pina colada at Trader Vic's per Warren Zevon, my hair is perfect.
Give our faithful seat a slap and carry on and jive. Hi-ho, Silver!
No, we're just saying that Raffles Bar is a famous tiki destination in Singapore. Don't mention it in your comments. You all saw what happened to me last time. I do have this stack of books that I need to find a way to give away. Eric, if I knew where the Find a Grave was tomorrow, I couldn't tell you. That would be cheating. Also, I don't know yet. All right. Lynn, based on people entering the raffle, PayPal/Venmo decided I was a gambling kingpin, and I was banned from Venmo and PayPal for a couple of months there. Which was a major pain in the neck. Yeah, we'll probably find something to do with the books at the convention. I suppose I could have an essay contest. I'm already sorry to hear that. Hide them on graves and give clues. I like that. We're coming up with like some scavenger hunt ideas and things to we want there to be some free activities that we've recommended during the convention as well. So, but mostly it's going to be a lot of tours. Both I'm going to run some tours. Mandy and Layla from effing Chicago are going to run some tours. But we also want there to be some stuff for people who don't want to buy a million tickets. Auburn Cemetery in Stickney. That sounds interesting. The trick is the trick is finding somebody to look for that I know we'll be able to find. I'll probably be figuring something out on my I'll be figuring something out while I'm out getting my steps in early in the morning. I usually take my walk at about 5:30 in the morning. Get myself up to 6,000 or 7,000 steps a day. Then I'll get over 10 just puttering around the house. Okay, now I want to come up with a limerick that starts with "There once was a man named Pullman." There's only so many rhymes, like Tracy Ullman, Skullman. That doesn't really rhyme. Thanks, Ed. Where is Miles? Well, Miles is right here. Miles just heard his name and made his appearance. Jen, have a good time. Miles heard me mention his name and he came running. And here's my Miles. Oh, okay. Don't want to sit like that exactly? Okay. I can respect that. I respect your boundaries, Miles. Oh, Pullman. That was the talk of the in-person tours last Saturday. Who is this person who is playing Pullman? Hey, Steph. If I knew who Pullman was, I wouldn't tell you. Hey, Randall. Hey, Gina. Does Miles like to be put in a cat carrier? Good question. I haven't really tried since he was just tiny. He hasn't had to go to the vet in a while. He's probably due for a checkup. Pullman's sense of humor was tried by his no-good kids. Good night, Megler. His kids who were said in the press frequently to serve as a warning for rich people's children. Just kids today. Why can't they dance like we did? In a seething mosh pit, kicking each other in the head. Carol, yes, I do intend to be at the cemetery cleanup. Steph, I'm not sure Miles would really dig that. Oh, he's getting in a box right now. You want to ride in a box, Miles? Want a box ride? Miles in one of his hovercrafts. This is a smaller one. I'm going to park you here. You can get up onto the shelf. There was a lot of booze in this. But Casey, that's the joys of being completely independent here. I got no networks execs giving me notes. We'll see what they say when I go in for some History Channel filming in a week or so. Yo, Count over on YouTube. We're hanging out post-tour. I'm pretty drunk. This awesome Tiki mug that only kind of reminds me of the mask that scared the hell out of me as a kid on Mysterious Cities of Gold. Yeah, carrying 14-year-olds around in a box is frowned on in many cultures. The Sugar Shack. Oh, that place. The Sugar Shack. If you've not been to the Sugar Shack, it is like a simulated celebrity hotspot for middle schoolers. Everything is Instagrammable. There's pictures of celebrities all over the wall, so you feel like you're in a big hotspot. And last time I was in one, we had to go meet with Ron and Ronnie's friends at the one in Rosemont, which makes it even more simulated. Chris, I did not know it was on DVD. But the guy next to me was eating a plate of asparagus. I'm like, dude, this is a simulated celebrity hotspot for middle schoolers. I don't like it either, but when we come in here, we agree to buy into a certain fantasy, and by eating a plate of asparagus, you are really taking us all out of this. Thanks, Steph. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I've only run that one once. Okay, different Sugar Shack. Okay. What place am I thinking of? I better go ask Ronnie. Sugar Factory. I am thinking of the Sugar Factory. Very different from the Sugar Shack. And not nearly as good as the Cheesecake Factory. You say what?
Number 8 on our program of dancing. A tune titled, melodically, The Little Kids at Twilight.
That's what I says. Oh, they said they should make a run princess. Alright, guys, I'm pretty drunk. It's pretty much fun. Now, John, the Love Shack is a little known place where we can get together, where the tin roof is rusted. On the Atlanta Highway. My high school was on the Atlanta Highway. It was not the Love Shack. Ronnie does not remember the asshole eating the asparagus. Adam is pretty toasted tonight. Butt crack baby. 18 inches of butt crack. Baby butt crack. That's the version Q102 used to play. 18 inches of butt crack. I'm just rambling along here. Yep. As I go rambling around. I'll never forget the asparagus guy either, because, geez, we agree to buy into a certain fantasy when we go to the sugar factory. Oh yeah, an 11-year-old would love that place. Now, me toasted could be a whole virtual tour in and of itself. Maybe I'll tell you about the audition last week, but I'm gonna have to drink a lot more to break that rule. A straw going in my nose, that'd be hilarious. Rose, well played. An ardent young man from Narragansett was accustomed to fucking in transit. He'd catch something neat in a Pullman retreat, say, "How do you do?" and then pants it. Nice. I once came up with a limerick for Man Tucket that didn't use the F word. I am having limoncello right now. It's limoncello LaCroix. But it's tasty. It's mixed in with my bootleg Singapore Sling. Love Shack was on my 4th of July playlist as well. I believe it was in 2nd grade when that song was a big hit. Hey, Mark, thank you. Jan, email me and I'll try to arrange one for that time. Email me to remind me and I can, if you guys have a request for a particular in-person tour, for a particular date when you're in town or a friend is in town, let me know. And I'll try to work it out. I can't guarantee it, but I can try it. Stein and Wittgenstein walk. Oh, man. They want a Stein. That one's over my head tonight, Phoenix. What is in my hair? Good question. Oh dear. The hell? I don't know what that was. The Phoenix math jokes are generally over my head. Definitely not hair gel. And here, it fell on the floor. It's a mystery. Come on and bring your juice box money. Now, we're doing philosopher and jokes, then I do like the one where Rene Descartes is brought out the dessert cart and says, "Oh, I think not." And then he disappears. I actually had, when I was taking algebra class in high school, boy did I hate algebra class. I had a rhyme, "A fine algebraist was Rene Descartes. The 'I think therefore I am' quote is his. But if all that he thought of was bullshit like this, then I know why he no longer is." Kathy, I did see that movie. I've been on camera this whole time, though, so... Oh, this is trouble. On the door, baby. We've like typed out the whole lyrics to Love Shack in the comments. This is awesome. Every good boy does fine. Empty garbage before dad flips. EGBDF's all you need to know if the notes are on the line. And if you want to learn the spaces, then Face will help you every time. Alright, Barbara, I promise before we log off for the night, I will play the theme song again. Do not let me forget. Laura, they know. And I have saved spaces for them on the boat tour. Ah, thank you, Marita's husband. Dave, the Saturday tour is at Graceland Cemetery. Now, typically before this, I would add one new walking tour per year. It was a little different this year. Joanne, it is a Friday. Friday, October the 1st. Alright, we've run out of the Earl Father Hines, so I think it is time, by request, Barbara requested we play the theme song one more time. For those who came up late, here is the theme song.
Climb aboard, cause you don't know exactly where or when we'll go. Chicago 1893, or the Gilded Age in NYC. Blast off into outer space. Hey. Drink till you're flat on your face.
Hey.
From the comfort of your home. So if you puke alone, one day we'll even find that place in France. And don't come crying to us if you pee your pants. Time travel pub crawl. Time travel pub crawl. Time travel pub crawl. Yeah!
All right, by request. If you freeze your pants, love it. Oh, John. John, I really thought you could get through this one without it, but... And I'll let Earl Father Hines play us out. Glad you guys like the theme song. I threw it together really fast one day before, I think, the second tour that we did. There's a Halloween, the Halloween one was different.
And down the groove now, we rather imagine you'll hear that famous 7 brass of Earl Hines in Bambino.
Good night, Lisa. Audrey, are you in Chicago? There's quite a few in town. As somebody mentioned in the comments, there's an old one that looks like that hasn't changed a bit since the old days out by Gene and Jude's. There's also 3 dots and a dash, which is a very modern take on Tiki, but still very cool. 3 dots and a dash is a famous old Tiki drink. It is also Morse code for victory. Good night, Mona. Molly, isn't that the guy who wrote Yellow River?
But here's rhythm and jive, Earl Father Hines and the St. Louis Blues.
Good night, Susan. Good night, Tony. After a while, crocodile. Sooner than that, rat. Catherine, I believe the revamped version of the Trader Vic's they tried after one of the Palmer House closed was roughly within the bounds of the Viagra Triangle, which is what we call a certain neighborhood around Division Street here in Chicago, which is where 60-year-olds try to pick up 20-year-olds. Yes, I.P. Freely wrote Yellow River. We read that in high school. Right after Under the Bleachers by Seymour Butts. And 50 Yards to the Outhouse by Willie Make It. Illustrated by Betty Don't. Night, Alicia. For a while, I was actually trying to write a book called Under the Bleachers by Seymour Butts. It didn't work out so well, partly because there's already a porn producer who's using the name Seymour Butts. So, using it as a middle grade author name probably wouldn't have played. Yeah, all those people, like, they were all authors too, I believe. Just Don't Check by A.B. Dick. Seriously, Please Don't Check by Long John Wentworth. I can't even think of a name for of a book for Coming Cherry that I would repeat out loud. Oh, thank you, Randall. I wasn't that into murals myself before I started doing this. Alright, everybody, it sounds like Earl Father Hines is winding up, so good time for me to plug the upcoming events once again. Well, of course, tomorrow is Find a Grave Friday, right back here on Mysterious Chicago Virtual. But in person, Saturday morning, Graceland Cemetery, tickets still available. MysteriousChicago.com. Next Saturday after that, we're back at Rose Hill Cemetery in person. Hope they're not too mad at me anymore for all of the, critical race theory that I've been throwing into tours. Then, virtually Sunday morning back here, July 11th, we will be doing True Crime in Chicago cemeteries. And a week from today, bringing back one of my favorites that I've ever done, the 1864 Chicago insurrection story, when Confederates tried to take over Chicago from the inside and plunge the nation into chaos on election night 1864. So lots and lots of interesting stuff coming up here. For tickets to the in-person ones, just check MysteriousChicago.com. Meanwhile, thanks again to all my performers tonight, to Rich Kruger, to Eli, to James Davis of May Haley's Grave. I am Adam Seltzer from Mysterious Chicago Tours, saying stay safe, stay strong. Not going to tell you to stay sober, because it's already past the point of me for that. But stay heading down that Atlanta highway, bring your jukebox money, and stay spooky. Thanks a lot.